It is a lifestyle, and that's actually our little slogan is fasting 101. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. So, you got to think long term. You got to think, where do I want to be in 10 years' time? Do I want to still be doing the same thing?
Hey, if you want to heal your body naturally, lose that toxic weight and transform your mind so that weight never comes back, I want to invite you to join my Mind Body Boss mentorship program, where I use my proven formula to help you achieve that. Click on the link in the description to learn more. See you on the inside. Welcome to another episode of Superior Mind Body Health. Today, I have a guest that is his third time on my podcast, I think, right, Jason?
Yeah, third time.
Yes, you are like the most popular guest for
Back
a
by popular
reason.
demand.
For a reason, yes. So today we are here to discuss a little bit about New Year's resolutions and why a lot of people don't reach the New Year's resolutions. And we're here to help you maybe make this next year's resolutions better than last year's or different than last year's. Jason, if you don't mind, just kind of introduce yourself real quick. Most people probably already have heard of you, but those who have not, if you don't mind, just introducing yourself, please.
Yeah, my name is Jason Gutsell, and also known as the fasting coach on Instagram. Also the founder of Fasting 101. And I'm a bit of a health enthusiast, also a calisthenics athlete. And I just love to help people too.
Yes, you're all over the place. I love it. Yes. And you've been fasting for quite some time. How long have you how long have you been doing the fasting focused lifestyle?
So my first fast was probably around 13 years ago. I would fast once a week for 16 hours. And then as the years went on, I would say consistently, probably been fasting close to around 10 years. And that's a mix of, intermittent fasting, 16 to 24 hours. And for the past 5 or 6 years now, I've been practicing prolonged fasting, which is, 2, 3, 4, 5 day fasts. So yeah, quite experienced. I've had various different lifestyles where I've worked away from home. I'm also an athlete. I work 9 to 5, run a business, and as we talked about before, fit and fasting to fit your lifestyle. So I kind of look at my lifestyle and see, my standard lifestyle at the minute is, I work 9 to 5, so I'll fast all day and I eat on evening for 2 to 4 hours. But again, that's changed. It's kind of changed a lot over the years. Sometimes it's more consistent. Sometimes it's, longer fasts mixed with shorter fasts. It just all depends on my lifestyle at the time. But yeah, for probably around 10 years, I've been fairly consistent, practicing fasting most days on average 20 hours a day.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. And then also, if you want to listen to the other 2 episodes that we did together, we actually go more in depth about, I think the first one was about calisthenics and how you've incorporated that into your lifestyle and the reason why you have. And then the last one we did was more like fasting focused and some tips about fasting. So if you're interested in that, and if you're an athlete like Jason, if you want to kind of learn more about like how he incorporates fasting into his lifestyle, it's a really, really great episode as well. Of course, I have to put a disclaimer here, especially being a medical provider, that everything we discuss here is just our personal experience. None of this is medical advice. So if you have any questions about anything, you always need to consult your physician, your PCP. So Jason, so obviously we're recording this in the winter time in December. It's snowing there behind you, or snow.
Yeah.
Where are you at right now? In what part of UK?
I'm in County Durham, so in the northeast.
Northeast of UK. Yeah, it's a little chilly. So I'm sure you have done this before, but like my previous New Year's resolutions, maybe like 5 years ago and before, I would make these grandiose plans, like what I'm going to do January 1st. And suddenly, my life is going to change. I'm going to become this like completely new person. And then sure enough, by the end of, like February 1st or by Valentine's, all of that has gone away. Like I got, burned out, worn out. It didn't work for me. And then I realized there are some things that I was doing wrong when it comes to New Year's resolutions. So we want to kind of go into that a little bit and talk about it. I don't know if you had this experience, but I know that like majority people, like 90% of people, don't follow through on their New Year's resolutions because it's just too much. They get overwhelmed and they think they can do it all on their own. And then it just kind of like, poof, like magic. It just goes away. Have you
It's
seen that in your clients or even yourself in the past?
myself in the past, quite a few years ago now, but I did used to drink, probably a couple of times, at least 2, 3 times a week. And January 1st comes around and it's New Year, new me. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm stopping drinking. And it wasn't like drinking like excessively. I still trained, still fasted and stuff. But weekend comes around, Friday, you get the Friday night feeling, and somebody gives you a text message, and before you know it, you've went all week. Like let's say you start this New Year's resolution, you've went all week or you've went 2 weeks, and then you start getting those text messages of people. You get like FOMO, so you feel like you're going to miss out on something, and before you know it, you're down the pub with a drink. I've done that probably a few times, and it wasn't even just over the new year. New year is a good time to start something. It's a new year, it's a fresh. It kind of, I don't know, mentally it feels like a good time to start something. But certainly tried this a few times, and sometimes, for me, I've had. So for me, it's been an all or nothing. It's like I'm either not doing this or I'm doing it. And I'm at a point in my life now where, I haven't fully stopped drinking, but my drink is like once every 3 or 6 months. And for me, I try not to think of it all or nothing, which I've been I've been that type of person for a lot of years. It's either all or nothing. And, if I get 3 weeks into something and then I have a little, this was before, if I got 3 weeks into something and then, I have a little slip up, I'm like, oh, well, that's it. Then I've just messed this whole thing up, and, I might as well go back to doing what I was doing before. And there's something which helps me with this. It's be persistent, and then consistency will come. So, when you first starting these new changes in whatever it is, trying to build healthy habits, you can't just expect yourself to be all or nothing. You can't be expected to be hitting it 100% all of the time. But if you are persistent, just keep being persistent. You have a day off, start of the game the next day. And, the more persistent you are, the more consistent you will end up being. Persistency brings consistency, if that's a word.
Persistency brings consistency. No, and I do agree with you, but I think also, one of the big reasons why people don't follow through on it is because you can't build a new habit in 2 or 3 weeks. Like it takes a bit longer than that. Like the bad habits are super easy to form. That's why it's so easy to like go back to them, because that they are that instant gratification. And but then the good habits, it takes a minute to develop them. And I think one of the big things with developing those new habits is having accountability. Actually, there's research states that accountability has been found to be the most important factor in forming new habits or changing habits. And it actually can increase your success rate of like achieving your goals by 95. I mean, that's
Wow.
startling. That is crazy. So, yeah, that's like kind of mind blowing. So, of course, like I can decide to, wake up every morning at like, let's say I wake up at 7 normally, but then now I decided I'm going to wake up at 4. And yeah, that first week, the adrenaline rush, the excitement of the New Year's and something new, I probably will get up at 4, even though it's hard. But then after the first week, you're like, why am I doing this? There's no incentive, like blah, blah, blah. But if you're doing it with an accountability partner or with a coach or with someone that's holding you accountable, you are more likely to stick to it, because we, a lot of times we don't keep the promises we make to ourselves. We're like, oh, forget it, F it, I'm just going to do another day. But when, I tell Jason, hey, Jason, yes, I'll get up at 4, I don't want to disappoint you, right? If we decide we're going to do this, like, I might not want to do it, but I'm going to do it because I don't want to disappoint you.
Absolutely. No, I completely relate to that. One of the things I can definitely relate to that is, all the while I am the fasting coach and I've been fasting for a lot of years. Sometimes when I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do a long fast, I'm going to do 3 or 4 days, and I can get 2 days in, and I'm still human at the end of the day. I can still give myself an excuse to end that fast early. Now, for instance, if I do a fast with you, Monica, and we say, right, we're doing a 3-day fast, and I've said I'm going to do that, because you're kind of it keeps me accountable to that. And you might even see, anybody who follows me on my Instagram, is sometimes when I do these long fasts, I will say, look, I'm doing a 3 or 4-day fast. And I check in every 12 hours or so. Similar with my clients as well. Kind of check in with them. I think 12-hour mark, checking in on the morning, checking in on the night, just to make sure that people are keeping to their word. But for me, I do it as well by posting online, and I'll say I'm doing this fast, and then I'll post every 12 hours or so. And for me, it just keeps me accountable. I don't know how, but it makes it easier. It makes it easier to do. It's like what you were saying there. A lot of the time we can say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And we do let ourselves down more than we let others down. So accountability for me it's such a big thing. Such a big thing.
Yeah, it is huge. And we'll talk about this a little bit more, but one of the things that we decided to do with Jason, we're part of the Fasting 101. We decided to do a 21-day challenge in January for everyone that would like that extra accountability, because it is such a important part of your habit changing and really starting on a good foot. And the 21-day doesn't end right there. I'm not saying that you'll just do it for 3 weeks and then be done. But if it's something that helps you, we do like daily check-ins, like that's huge. When okay, when it's on your mind and you have to check in every single day, and you have the support of coaches. We have so many coaches on our team, including myself, you, and a few other people, nutritionists, that are there to help and guide you. Because sometimes also another thing that happens is that when people don't understand something, let's say they're fasting and they have some weird, like, oh, I have a headache or something, they just quit because they don't feel good, instead of like, okay, let's dig into this. What's going on? Are you taking enough electrolytes, and kind of troubleshooting to see like, what can we do to make this, a little bit easier? Because we've been fasting for, I've been fasting for 5 years or longer. So I've learned through those trial and error times when I've quit on myself. And so being able to help people get through some of those like tough days, especially day 1 or 2, if you're brand new to fasting. So like, speak a little bit more on that, and we'll go into it a little bit deeper. I don't want to like deflect completely from talking about the New Year's resolutions and how to help you navigate through the New Year's resolutions and make them actually stick this year. But this is one of the like number one things that we want to help you achieve, because I think accountability is just number one. It's the key.
It is absolutely the accountability and support as well. You know, having the support of people who've been through what you might go through. You know, when you, if you were to start fasting, or you know, exercise, anything like that, and you feel like you might be doing something wrong, and then you know, it's quite easy to just say, oh well, I'm just going to go back to doing what I was doing. If you've got the support, if you've got the accountability, you know, you're going to be getting whatever it is done. And then if you've got the support also from like-minded people who have been through what you've been through, for instance, you know, if you do experience headaches, you might, you know, drop a message to the group and just say, oh, I'm experiencing this, I'm having headaches, or you know, is this normal, or is it something to be worried about? And if it's just something as simple as, oh, maybe you need to have some electrolytes, you know, that can make all the difference to you know, just throwing it out the window or continuing with it. And you know, I think having the accountability, having the support there is, like, for me, is two major things in you know, especially when you're trying to make changes like this. I'm a massive believer in having a coach. I've got coaches in various different aspects of life, and you know, those people who I go to, you know, got a coach for calisthenics, got a coach for business. I've had a longevity coach before, and you know, they've been where you've been before, and they've made the mistakes. And for me, I always feel like it's kind of like getting a cheat sheet, you know, to something. Not cheating, but you know, they've made all the mistakes, so you don't have to. Generally, if you've
Yes,
got it.
absolutely.
So I'm a big believer in that. You know, if I want to get somewhere, if I've got goals to achieve, I would go to somebody who's, you know, it doesn't have to be fasting, it doesn't have to be fitness, it could be anything. You know, I would seek out somebody who has what I want and who can teach me how to get there quicker, rather than me having to figure out everything myself, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I think you just said that. That's key right there too. Is I have coaches for different areas of my life, and I used to not. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've wasted so much time through trial and error when I could, you know, could have had someone lead me through it, including fasting. I mean, when I started fasting, I had no idea what I was doing. And to be to be honest with you too, if you are brand new to fasting and you have no idea what you're doing, it could be quite unsafe. And that's why having community and coaches that know what they're doing and they can guide you through things to keep you safe. I think that right there, it's so important. Like, I mean, there's times I think about, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was at the gym, I was on my I was on my second day of a fast, and I decided, oh, I'm gonna go and hit the gym hard. I was working out like a maniac, right? Probably didn't drink electrolytes. I was just drinking plain water. And I got off of like a stair. It was like a
Yeah,
leg
massive.
press. No, it was a
All
leg
right.
press actually. I was doing like weights. I got off of it, and I literally my head was spinning and my eyes just went dark. So I sat down right away, and I mean, I thought like I'm gonna pass out, like, and
Wow.
it was probably due to electrolytes. And really, like, when you are that new to fasting, I probably should not have been doing heavy lifting like I was. So I've made a lot of mistakes, but we're here so you don't have to make those mistakes and you can keep yourself safe. So tell, like, we'll put all the information about the 21-day challenge starting in January, but just kind of give us like a simple like overview, like what does it include? Is it, or each week, is it like incremental, or do you jump in right into like a 24-hour fast or 3-day fast? Like, how does that work? Can you kind
No.
of break it down?
Yeah, of course I can. So it's a fitness, food, and fasting challenge, and it's 21 days. And so the fasting, it's worked out around your lifestyle. So we take a bunch of questions about your existing lifestyle, and we look at it and say, right, where can we slot in fasting there so that it flows well. There's no point in me telling you to do a certain fast if it just doesn't fit with your life. It's not going to allow you to flow. and you won't be able to maintain it. So we take a bunch of questions about your existing lifestyle, your work, your family commitments, exercise, and then we also take body composition stats and your lifestyle, about your job, how much your activity levels, and then we'll work out your nutritional information. So it's a kind of personalized approach. And then the fitness. So the fitness are, you start off on 15 to 20-minute workouts. If you want to, if you would like to, you can scale that up. But the
What
idea
kind of workouts are those? Like, are you talking about weights or like
no,
walking?
all body weight exercises, no equipment needed. The idea behind this was to kind of simplify things, and I believe that everybody can find 20 minutes out of their day to do a little bit of exercise, and they're completely scalable. So for instance, one of the workouts people will be doing is EMOM, and it's every minute on the minute. Now, for somebody like myself, I might do 10 reps every minute, but somebody who's just starting out their fitness journey, they might just choose to do 3 reps. Somebody who's in between, they might want to do 8 reps, and it's completely scalable depending on whatever fitness level you're at. So that's the fitness. And then the food, while we do work out your nutrition, we are providing 21 days of nutritionally balanced meals. One of the things I truly believe in is getting the food right, and then it makes the fasting easier. If you're having delicious, nutritious food, not only is it something to look forward to, but it doesn't feel like you're on a diet at all. Like, this is not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And I've been doing this kind of thing for a lot of years, and I am fairly good at cooking. I've cooked for a lot of people. I get a good
I've
response
seen
to
your
it.
videos on Instagram. Your food looks amazing whenever you cook. I'm like, maybe you should open a restaurant. Okay,
But yeah, so there's 21 days of nutritionally balanced meals, and then not only that, you've got daily and weekly check-ins. So your daily check-ins are about your fasting, your nutrition, but not only that, about your, how you're responding to things. So what's your sleep like? What's your mood like? What are your energy levels like? And then, we will also, throughout the challenge, we're going to be looking at everybody's data basically, and we'll be going to be looking at what trends can we see. So, let's say that you're marking your energy levels a 2 out of 5 on days 3 and 4, and also your mood is a 1 out of 5 on those days. We would say, well, hold on, what is happening on those days? Is there any other things that we can spot there? Perhaps that you're under eating on your food, or perhaps that you ate really late that night, or maybe you didn't have enough protein on those days. And if we spot trends that kind of align with that, we'll say, okay, we've noticed that a couple of people are doing X, Y, and Z. Going forward, we recommend that you do things where you're getting 5s every day, and then throughout this challenge, it's going to help you understand. But this challenge is just, it's a kind of taster of what we are going to be providing, what we are providing at the minute for several clients. But this challenge in January is really the start of something, what I talked about before, this our online platform, Fasting 101. And
so you get kind of like a teaser, you get a 3-week teaser into the depths of what we do provide in Fasting 101, because it really is amazing. I wish something like that was there when I started fasting, because I didn't have any support, like I mentioned. And like, there's so many different like studies that say it takes about 66 days to change or create a new habit, whatever. Sometimes maybe longer. It just depends, like, how committed you are and how long you've been working on that habit. If you've already been walking daily, that's not going to be a hard habit to create every single day. But then you can stack on top of that, like we teach the whole habit stacking, and I do think the support of people that know what they're talking about and have been through it, that is priceless right there. And I wish I had that. So where can where can people find out how to sign up for this 21-day challenge?
So if they head over to www.fasting101.app, that's APP. You might also find it on .co.uk, but the main website is fasting101.app. And, all the information is on there
So
about the
app,
challenge.
app,
Yes,
like app.
yes.
Okay,
It's
fasting, www.fasting101.app, app. Okay. And then, we hope we have as many people interested because we want to guide you through. We're all going to be doing it with you too, because I plan on doing some fasting starting January as well. And I'm super excited because this is going to motivate me too, because I need you guys' accountability too. So that's exciting.
I absolutely can't wait. And that's what I love about my existing groups. What I've got on WhatsApp. So I've got one for prolonged fasting, but also got one for existing clients for fasting 101. And a lot of the time, it's like not a lot of the time, but some of the time, I get not only do I get inspired, but I do I'll do group fasts with people, do group fasts with clients, and it keeps me accountable as well. And like I'm just like yourself, Mike, I'm really really excited for January 1st. I'm really excited for this challenge. It's the first time I've done a challenge like this, but again, just being able to help other people, having the support of other other coaches, clients as well. Because we also, I know we are coaches at the end of the day, but we still learn as much from you as you'll learn from us at the same time. So and I think the biggest thing for me and this is having that support, having the community. When you've got a community, it's just adds that kind of special touch to something. It's great. You meet like-minded people on the same sort of path as you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see who joins this challenge as well, and looking forward to meeting a lot of new faces here.
Yeah. And I agree. Community is huge. And like I said, accountability increases your chances of reaching your goals by 95%. This is not something I made up. This is research shown. And, there's a quote that says, without accountability, there's no responsibility. Without accountability, there's no responsibility. And I think that is so, so true. And of course, at some point, when you get through the stages of creating those new habits, the ultimate goal is to be accountable to yourself. But when you're starting off, like initially, that is a very hard thing to do. Now, like I've become pretty disciplined that I don't need as much accountability, but I still like having it. Like I fast with my girls group that I have, like my women's group, which I'll be focusing a lot on like like women fasting, because women have to fast differently. And it's very important, because if you don't, you can get into a lot more issues. And again, it goes back to like the safety. We are not just same as men. And when I started fasting later on, I hired a coach, and it was a male coach. And so I didn't learn all those things till later. I had all these issues with like my hormones, my hair falling out, feeling like crap, moodiness. And then I realized after my own research that women have to fast differently, especially when they are in the in the childbearing age, where they still have their cycle. And that's important not only for now, but also later when you're going through like menopause and anything. But I will post in the description, I will put the link to our 21-day challenge. And of course, like if anybody has any questions, you can message Jason on Instagram. Do you prefer the Fasting 101 Instagram or your personal Instagram? Which one do you prefer?
You can use either, so feel free to reach out to me, the fasting coach with underscores in between, or fasting 101 underscore on Instagram.
Okay.
But
And then
if you head on to the website's got all the contact details there. It's got everything that you need. Yeah.
And then feel free to, if you want to DM either one of us, if you have any questions, feel free to do that. Okay, so that is number one. We're going to go back to kind of talking a little bit more about New Year's resolutions and how to make them different from last year's. And one thing that we're going to help you do is to be part of our fasting challenge, that 21-day challenge. And we'll teach you a lot of those things that we're going to kind of just touch on here a little bit. But any other tips that you have for people as far as like starting off New Year's resolution?
Routine, routine, but also planning that routine. So take a look at your week and say, okay, I'm going to be starting this healthy lifestyle or whatever it is, and how can I, how can I fit this in nice? Like, you don't want to be saying, I'm going to make sure that I do 2 hour gym sessions every morning, because is that sustainable? Probably not. So start with something that you can maintain. Start small, and then you can kind of increase things. So if your goal is to start the gym, for instance, your goal the first part of it could be, okay, I'm going to make sure I get into the gym for 20, 30 minutes 4 days a week. Once you start getting into the gym, once you start doing that 20 minutes, by the way, is probably going to increase to 45 minutes to an hour, once you start to get into it. And you might even increase to, it could be 3 times a week, it could be 4 times a week. You might increase it to 5 times a week. So, start something that's small and maintainable, and just, keep adding little bits on. And then habit stacking. So, like you said earlier, Monica, we have this idea that January 1st has come in, and I'm going to do this, and this, and I'm become a whole new different person. And it's like trying to keep up with so many different things can be difficult. So habit stacking for me, something like I'm going for my morning walk, or if I'm going to the gym, but there's also a book that I want to listen to, or a book that I want to read. Most of the time I listen to audiobooks, and so I will listen to something while I'm doing my morning routine, or while I'm in the gym. And that's another habit, that's another healthy habit that I've just stacked into doing what I'm already doing. Habit stacking, which we if you've never heard of before, but it's kind of like stacking habit on top of habit without having to go habit, 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 habit. You're kind of stacking them and doing things kind of similar at the same sort of time, which we'll teach you more about in this 21-day challenge.
Yeah, we'll talk about this some more. But you made a good point. Like, if you have not been in the gym for the past year, you can, like, January 1st, it's not like this suddenly magic thing that happens. You're not gonna go to the gym from never working out or have not worked out in a year or 2 years, and then suddenly hitting the gym for 2 hours a day. First of all, you're going to feel like crap. You're going to be sore, and you're not going to even go the next day because that's too much. So starting small, it's the key, really, when it comes to New Year's resolutions. And to be frank with you, like starting like now, don't wait till January 1st hits. Let's, eat everything that I have inside, not move for the whole month of December, but also feeding your mind and your body with good things. Same thing with like food. If you've been eating junk food every single day and suddenly you're going to go to like no carb or low carb or keto and no cheats, you're going to go crazy, right? So if you can put, like, how easy is it to add, like, let's say a healthy vegetable or some fruit before you eat your dessert, so maybe you won't eat as much sweets, but not taking everything away, so you just like, it's just too much, your brain is going to go on overload or have a seizure or something. So starting small, like Jason said, it is really, really important. And maybe just starting with just one habit right now, just starting to change one little habit. And there is actually research that also showed that when people try to do like 4, 5, 6 habits at once, their failure rate is 95%. Like if you try to do like a big amount of habits at once. But if you start with like one little behavior change at a time. And maybe then once that one gets more comfortable, you can add another one, you can stock another thing on top of it. Your success rate at maintaining that new behavior, it's like 85%. And that is, again, research. You can Google that. So I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, I also live by something is 1 day, 1% at a time. You
Mm,
can't expect the big picture straight away, and big changes are are a combination of many small little changes along the way. You don't just change overnight. Nobody can just change overnight, and you can't just form a healthy habit overnight. It takes time, and it takes a lot of small, consistent changes to get to wherever it is that you want to be later down the line.
absolutely. And, at the end of the day, you have to remember that this, like, transforming your health, your weight, this is not just about losing weight. You suddenly lose the weight and you reach some kind of destination. That's not how it is. And I thought that's how it was. And every time I reached that destination, I lost 30 pounds. I would regain it because then I stopped doing everything else. So that's another thing that we want to teach you, is that this is a health journey. It's a journey. It's not a destination where you reach it and then you're done. This is something that you want to incorporate into your lifestyle, because this is what is going to prevent you from getting sick, getting cancer, feeling like crap, looking like crap. Like, the ultimate goal is to feel amazing, look amazing, and live as long as you can feeling good and being able to do things. I want to be, 89 years old and still be able to run or lift weights. Like, that's the ultimate goal. Like, I'm not doing all these things now just to reach a certain weight goal and then be like, F it. Like, I'm going to go back to my old lifestyle. So that's another important thing, is that, you don't have to, don't try to change all your goals all at once, like January 1st. And just write down the goals will help you kind of come up with, like, what are the important goals that we need to focus on based on your lifestyle. Because my goals will be different than Jason's or somebody else's that's joining this challenge. And focusing on those goals and having in front of you, so you can be reminded of, like, why am I doing it? The big reason why you do something is the fire that keeps you going when that motivation lacks. I don't believe in motivation. I believe in that reason why, the goals behind, why are you doing something. So we'll also focus on that and talk about that. So anything else that you want to Jason?
No, I just wanted to, when you were talking about, it is a lifestyle, and that's actually our little slogan is fasting 101. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. So, you got to think long term. You got to think, where do I want to be in 10 years' time? Do I want to still be doing the same thing, but probably a lot more overweight, maybe on medication? Or do I want to, start a new lifestyle, start creating a new healthy lifestyle, 1 day, 1% at a time? Yeah, just think long term. And there's just one more thing. I had somebody, a client, when I first started coaching, she was like, oh, I've only lost a pound this week. And I was like, you do realize, like, a pound a week is 52 pounds in a year. And, I mean, trying to do the calculation off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's over 4 stones. So think long term. And if like, don't get don't just get caught with numbers as well. I could go on and on and on about this, but think of it long term, and think of it as a lifestyle, a complete lifestyle change. Yeah, not just a diet.
I agree. Again, yeah, number on the scale is just one measurement. Like, initially I lost 70 pounds, but I felt terrible. Like, I was skinny, like, but I felt awful. Like, my body was all, like, my hormones are all jacked up because I lost the weight so fast and I didn't change like other things in my life and didn't work on my mindset. This was like 4 or 5 years ago when I initially lost the 70 pounds. But yeah, and again, I know that, like, fasting, people, use it initially for weight loss, and that's how I got into fasting. But like Jason said, it's not just a fad diet. It is a lifestyle, and you can incorporate it in so many different ways. It's so easy to incorporate it into your own lifestyle. It doesn't mean that you have to be doing like 3-day fasts every week or evenings too. And then when I got back home, I did a 3-day fast and felt them keto or whatever diets. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with keto or low carb or anything. I'm just saying like those diets seem to there. You can incorporate it. So I don't know what else, Jason. I think yes.
I just wanted to get that across because I posted something the other day and someone was like, "You're fasting for 21 days." I was like, "No, and depending on people's level, if you experience faster and you want to incorporate some, yeah."
That's a good point, because I actually had someone ask me if it was like straight 20. Well, thank you, Jason. I am looking forward to doing this challenge with you and the team. I think it's going to be revolutionary. I'm so excited, not only for everyone else doing it with us, but also for myself and for you. I know, we are we walk the talk. We don't just talk the talk. We actually walk the talk. And I love it. Like, you're so authentic, like when you post on your social media, like you do what you say you do. Even when you have hard days, you're honest about it and you talk about it. I've talked about my struggles, like regaining 20 pounds. I mean, that was hard, but it's just being authentic. I'm not gonna show someone that I'm not on social media or YouTube or whatnot. It's just, and that's what I love about you, is you being 100% authentic and truly there to help others. Like, you're not doing it just for yourself. You truly want to show people how amazing this lifestyle really is. And I wish I found this in my 20s or even like my early 30s, because it would have changed my life completely if I knew what I know now.
I appreciate that, Monica.
Yeah.
Thank
You, Jason. And I look forward to the 21-day challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. Really can't. There's been
Awesome.
a lot of work gone into this. So yeah, I'm overjoyed, to be totally honest with you. I absolutely can't wait.
Thank you. Awesome. Have a good night, and I will talk to you soon, Jason.
You too. Thanks again, Monica. See you
Thank
later.
you.